Tonight, we're sitting down with local man, Jake Hoot. It is Jake, right?
It is Jake, yes, sir.
Jake, where are you from?
I'm originally from South Texas, but I moved up here a few years back to play ball at Tech, so kind of call this my home now.
And he's been making music here in the Upper Cumberland for a while. We're going to get to know that music on the 9 o'clock news local edition here on Rock 93.7. What kind of music is it?
I play a lot of country, classic rock, so just a mix of a whole lot of different kind of music.
You go by just you. Do you have a band?
I actually play in a band right now. Yes, sir. I used to do my own thing, and then here about, 8-9 months ago, we started up a thing, and we're called the Smoky Mountain Bandits.
I was going to ask if it's Jake and the Hooters or Smoky Mountain Bandits.
Yes, sir. Smoky Mountain Bandits. We play a lot of local places, but yes, sir. We have a good time.
How long have you actually been making music?
Probably going on almost 10 years now. I've been just fiddling around with it and stuff and writing and stuff. But as far as playing out and about, it's probably been about 5-6 years.
Was it easy to make the decision to get out and play in front of people, or was it?
At first it wasn't, to be honest with you. I had have my wife, of course, pushing me and a couple different friends. But once I got out, it so much fun. I don't know why I didn't start a lot earlier.
It is not always the easiest progression to go from just playing to getting out in front of people, and not everybody does. Some people are just content to write songs. Well, you've written a few songs, actually.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get a chance to listen to those later on this evening. We'll talk a little bit more about your band, your music, and where they can go see you, too, on tonight's 9 o'clock news local edition here on Rock 93.7. With over 10 years of making music and a few getting out and performing, tonight we're getting to meet Jake Hoot on the 9 o'clock news local edition here on Rock 93.7. You actually have a proper band. What did you call them?
The Smoky Mountain Bandits.
The Smoky Mountain Bandits. How long have you been playing with them?
We've been playing together about 8-9 months, somewhere around there. But yes, sir, Smoky Mountain Bandits.
How did you decide to go from, because you had been performing solo for a while.
Yes, sir. I think I got to the point where I was just like, you know what, I'm ready for something new. I had been playing, 5 years or so by myself, and I just got to the point where I was like, all right, well, I'm ready to try something. And the two guys that I play with, they're phenomenal musicians, and we kind of do like an Eagles type Alabama feel, which is, if you listen to my music, that's kind of what I try to write, is like a harmony-based type deal. So it worked out perfect. Were
you playing somewhere and they came up to you, or how did you meet these other two?
I actually work with both of them, and it just kind of luck of the draw. They found out I was playing a show, and one guy was like, well, I used to play music too, and we just started talking, and then the other guy plays in a couple different bands, and phenomenal guitar player, Lucas McCoy, and he just, we all sat down one night, and we loved the sound of it, and so we just started playing around with it.
Is this a major hobby or just a major passion?
I think it's a major passion for all of us. We really do love what we do, and we have a great time. We've kind of gained a following since we've all got together, and just seeing those familiar faces coming out and stuff, and enjoying what people enjoying what you're doing is just, we love it.
Originally, I think you said when we first started, you're from Texas?
South Texas, Corpus Christi.
How do you get from Texas to here?
My parents were actually missionaries, so I actually moved a lot when I was little. But back in about 2007, 2008, I moved up here because I wanted to play football. And I've got some family here in the area, and so moved up here, went to Tennessee Tech, and rest is history.
How was the football added in with the music? Did you have time for both?
Of course, I sang a lot in the locker room, and stuff like that. And of course, those are some of the friends that were telling me to get out and play. And I just never got into it.
How did you first pick up the guitar?
I picked up the guitar probably when I was about 13 years old, which, golly, that's about a long time ago.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, 15 somewhere around there years. But no, I've always loved music ever since I was little. My parents told me, I would walk around before I could even talk, and I would just try to sing and stuff. And I've always been very much in love with music. So it's just one of those things. When I finally got a guitar, I just took off with it.
Compared to your sports, were they encouraging with the music, or?
They were very much so. My mom is very musically inclined. She plays piano, and of course, her love for harmony kind of, bled over to me. I love that. That's my passion, is the harmony based kind of music and stuff. And so they were very much, and they still are very much encouraging.
One of the songs that you have that we're going to talk about, He's a Man.
Yes, sir.
Where does that come from?
That comes from, I guess it's something that the way I grew up very, my parents weren't per se strict, but my dad always taught me those basic core values. If you're going to shake a man's hand, look him in the eye, and if you make $10, work like you're making $15, and it was just, I got to the point where I was just like, I'm going to write a song based off of everything I've learned growing up. And I actually had a great friend that helped me write the song, Caleb Hodges, and he grew up kind of the same way. And we sat down for a couple nights and said, all right, we're going to write something based off of what we've learned growing up. And so that's kind of where it all came from.
It's Jake Hoot. He's a man. On the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. It is the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. You could be on this show. Tonight we are speaking with Jake Hoot, getting to know a little bit about him. Go to the website. You can do the same. Rock937online.com. There's a submit your music button right there. You play around the area. How often do you get out?
Golly, we play probably, if not every weekend, it's about every other weekend.
Do you play, whereabouts can they see you at?
We play Spanky's at least 2-3 times a month. We play Bull and Thistle, which that's a great place to play as well. We play a place in Smithfield called Turtles. And of course, we play in a couple different areas, like in Bowling Green a couple times, but mainly just around campus and stuff. So
you keep it kind of close by. What's the farthest you've gone to play?
Furthest we have gone to play is Bowling Green.
How did you wind up in Bowling Green? Was that?
Well, the actual guy that I was telling you about that helped me write that song, he lives up there with his wife, and so he kind of got me hooked up there. He told somebody about us, and we got up there, and I mean, it's a great venue to play at. Compared
to the crowd that you deal with here, the homegrown crowd, we'll say, versus the not homegrown crowd, how were the two performances?
They're very similar. Of course, with the homegrown crowd, we have a decent following of people who come out, so we've got a lot of familiar faces. But no matter where you go, people they love music, and we try to mix it up quite a bit and keep everybody happy. And they're great crowds no matter where we go.
A lot of the songs that you've put together, I think we touched on that you have a love for harmonies and trying to work that in. The two that you're working with, was it easy to get them on board with the harmonies, or? Yes, sir,
it was. Of course, both guys, they never really had been around like a harmony-based group and stuff, and so that was the biggest hurdle, I guess, for us, is getting to that point where we were all like, okay, because we're all lead vocalists, and so that's why I bring in kind of like the Eagles, because we all sing lead on certain songs, and then we'll mix it up and stuff. But like I said, they're both phenomenal musicians, and we all just fell right into place like really easy.
You had already been working on the material that you have. Putting it together, where did you get the musicians? Did you studio musicians, or?
Those are actually all me. All the vocals and everything. I did that a while back before I was playing in a band, and so those are all my vocals on these tracks.
Other instruments?
Just guitar. I think. Let's see. I think they're all basically all there are guitars.
Going with just guitar, was that harder to do as far as adding in the extra sounds that you wanted, or do you feel like it's just perfect?
I think it's just perfect. Of course, one day I would like to get to where those songs are maybe recorded by somebody. For me, I felt like the guitar was just the right kind of mix for them. You've
got one song that when I heard it, it kind of made me think Zac Brown. Did you have Zac Brown in mind when you wrote Meteor Shower, or?
Actually, I did. Yes, sir. I kind of, certain songs I write, I kind of have somebody in mind that I think, like He's a Man. I thought Eric Church would be perfect for something like that. But Meteor Shower, for sure, Zac Brown Band, just their harmonies and stuff like that. I think it would be a cool little, and it's a unique feel kind of to the song. So
it does have a unique feel to it, especially when it starts off with that run and dun dun. You're kind of hooked.
Yes, sir.
Did you come up with that part first, or?
I think that kind of came afterwards. I was kind of messing around with the whole, falling for you like a meteor shower. And then that kind of came afterwards.
Well, let's give it a listen. It's Meteor Shower. It's Jake Hoot in the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. We've got a chance to listen to a couple of his songs, and we've got another that we're going to take a look at here in a bit as we continue our conversation tonight with Jake Hoot on the 9 o'clock news local edition here on Rock 93.7. You said you get out and play at least a couple of times a month?
Yes, sir. Like I said, if not every weekend, it's every other weekend. But yes, sir, we play quite a bit.
You get out and perform with a couple of other guys kind of helping you out to do the whole performance thing. What's the craziest gig that you guys have had?
Shoo. Well, I'd say Spanky's can get pretty wild sometimes. No, I mean, Spanky's is always, I mean, we love playing at Spanky's. It's one of our favorite places to play. But when you get a bunch of kids, a bunch of college kids in there and, you know, there's some drinking going on, sometimes it can get a little wild.
When you're playing those songs like that, you've got extra people helping you then. You've got a couple of guys that you perform with versus
Yes, sir.
how you originally put those together, because originally you had wrote those as a solo thing. Has it been trickier adding them in or more of a blessing?
It's been more of a blessing, really. I mean, when you record all the vocals by yourself, lay down multiple tracks, you know, you can kind of feel, you know, that whole one voice type deal. But when you put in different styles of different voices and stuff and different phrasing that they use, and of course, like I said, I've got Lucas McCoy is our guitar player, and he's one of the best guitar players I've ever heard. And so having him put his spin on the instrument side of it, you know, is just phenomenal. So I think it's more of a blessing than anything.
You do have songs recorded. Do you have like an EP or an album that?
I do not. I'm actually working on a solo one, and then as a group, we're working on some stuff as well. We're actually in the process of writing stuff as a group. Everything written to this point, I've written all of it. But no, sir, that's something that'll come out probably in the next year or so.
Do you have online though? You do have some singles that are where they can go check those out? Or?
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, you can check out everything either on YouTube or Facebook at this point. I'm in the process of getting some stuff on iTunes, but you know, I'm one of those kind of guys that if I put it out there, I want it to sound the best it can be. So we're working on some stuff right now.
How many songs do you have written to this point?
Me, I've probably got around 50 that I've written and just, you know, messed around with. And of course, there's no telling. I mean, there's countless numbers that I've started and I can't finish right now. So there's plenty of those in the back. But as far as completed, there's about 50 songs.
Whenever you're going through, do you find yourself rehashing a song that you've already done, or are these all original new material that you're just like, well, there's another one on the pile?
Yeah, I mean, there's some that you look at, you know, maybe a year or two down the road, and you're like, all right, I can, you know, fix that one a little bit. You hear where it's going to sound better, but most of it's new material. You know, just stuff that you either think of during the day or, you know, stuff that you experience through life. But no, sir, a lot of it's mostly new material.
A couple of songs that we'd already talked about. You said earlier that you kind of had this artist in mind when you wrote that. You had, I think we talked about Zach Brown. You had them in mind when you wrote Meteor Shower. So you're writing in the style of these bands. Is it hard to not cross that line?
It is sometimes. And I mean, not every song I write is going to be, you know, I have somebody in mind. A lot of songs that I write, once I get done, I start listening to it. And I'm like, well, maybe they'd sound good doing that. But, you know, like we talked about, He's a Man, you know, when we wrote that, we thought, you know, the guy that I wrote it with, Caleb Hodges, we both thought, man, that would be perfect for Eric Church, a song like this, you know, and like Meteor Shower. When I started writing the harmony parts, I was like, man, this would be perfect for Zach Brown Band. But yeah, sometimes it is hard because you don't want it to sound like what they've already got out there, you know, you want it to sound your unique spin to it.
You have got, we talked about those two. We've got another one. And this one, It Is Love. I don't know if you hear this whenever you did. To me, it kind of had a James Taylor feel. Are you a fan of his?
Oh, I love James Taylor. Absolutely. My mom loved James. Like I said, my mom was a huge influence in me, and she loved James Taylor. So I grew up listening to a lot of his stuff. I try to put so much, I guess, different sounds, uniqueness to each one of my songs and stuff. And It Is Love is just, I mean, it was just another one of those songs with the harmonies and stuff. I just thought, man, this song is beautiful, and I would love to really capitalize on the harmonies. But no, I mean, James Taylor, you know, that's very flattering. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome very much. How about if we share it with everyone else and see what their take is? It Is Love. It's Jake Hoot on the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. We've had a conversation tonight with Jake Hoot and gotten a chance to know a little bit about his music. It's the 9 o'clock news local edition on Rock 93.7. Jake, I appreciate you coming in to talk with us. You get out and perform quite a bit. In fact, you've got a date coming up around the 15th, I think.
Yes, sir. We've got, we're playing at the Bull and Thistle on the 15th. We start around 7 o'clock, so y'all be sure to come on out.
And from time to time, you make an appearance or reappearance, I guess, at Spanky's as well.
Yes, sir, we do. We play every first Saturday and third Friday of the month at Spanky's, and then we'll pick up shows here and there. But those are the two definite dates.
And that's online. They can follow you. Where can they follow you at?
Yes, sir. They can follow me either at Jake Hoot on Facebook or on our band page, which is Smoky Mountain Bandits. We keep that pretty regularly updated, I guess you'd say. And of course, a lot of my videos and stuff are on YouTube as well.
And I think we talked about you're working on trying to get some of the music up there For now, it's a
Yes,
thing in
sir.
progress.
For right now, it's a thing in progress. Like I said, I guess I'm a perfectionist, and so I want to put out the best product I can. But yes, sir. Probably within the year, we're going to have some stuff out there where people can actually go download it and stuff.
And they can check out your performance ahead of time. You have some stuff on YouTube. I think we touched on that.
Yes, sir. For sure.
So go see him there and definitely go see him out live. Support him. Put a little effort behind. Thank you so much, Jake, again.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's been a conversation with Jake Hoot tonight on the 9 o'clock news local edition here on Rock 93.7.